Tom Brady in those two Super Bowls with two clutch late drives to seal the deal. One to end the Patriots' perfect season, another to rob another Super Bowl from Tom Brady. But this time, in Week 10 of the NFL season in 2015, Brady got the last laugh, leading his Patriots on the late drive to win the game over New York. And also, as Peyton Manning sets the record for most pass yards all time, he also gets benched for Brock Osweiler. He may also have an injury that could be part of the reason of his poor play this year. That and more. Next. Gostkowski is the hero for the Patriots. He knocks in a 54-yard field goal with only 1 second remaining. The Giants try all the fuckery with the laterals, doesn't work, and Pat sealed the victory. Yes, Brady led New England on the drive to get into field goal range, but Gostkowski is the hero because the loss, if the Patriots did go on to lose, would have definitely have fell on Brady's shoulders. He had a couple poor throws that should have been intercepted. One did, which was when the Patriots were up 24-23, looking like they're about to cover the spread and everything. I know people who had their money on the Pats were happy. And then Brady throws a horrible pass to LaFell behind him that gets picked off, similar to Malcolm Butler's pick that will forever live on in history and Pats fans will forever be grateful for. It was similar to that, and as a Patriots fan, I'm thinking, here we go again. Once I saw Brady throw that interception in the end zone, I'm thinking, here we go again. Eli's going to have some late great heroics. But not this time, because on that ensuing drive, as the Giants are close to the end zone, Eli throws it to Odell Beckham, and it looks like it's a touchdown. But Butler makes an amazing play on Odell, knocks the ball free, and the Giants are forced to kick a field goal. And on that drive, there was questionable clock management because the Giants chose to pass while the clock was running down, and Brady ended up having 1 minute and 47 seconds left for that last drive. And even though Brady got the job done on the last drive, the Giants had a chance to steal the game. Brady made a horrible pass to Brandon LaFell that was probably 10 yards underthrown, and it was right there for the taking for a Giants player who could not make the catch. And after that, Brady converted on 4th and 10 with Amendola. Then on another play, Amendola made shifty moves to pick up about a 5 extra yards that set up Gostkowski to knock in the 54-yarder. Patriots moved to 9-0. Giants are now 5-5. But there is one takeaway from this game, and it is a literal takeaway, but the pun was not intended. But it's the fact that the Patriots lost Julian Edelman with a broken foot in the game, and he will be out 6 to 8 weeks, and we're in week 10, so that means he's done for at least the regular season. And even though the timetable states that he could be back for the playoffs, you still have to think he's going to be a question mark going forward. And with the Broncos suffering their second defeat in week 10, the Patriots are now 2 games clear, them and the Bengals. So it looks like the Patriots will secure a first-round bye in the playoffs. So for that fact, I think they'll be okay for at least that first game in the playoffs. But to make a Super Bowl run, I think they will need Julian Edelman. I think for the rest of the regular season, they'll be fine. We know how the Patriots operate. Next man up. They lost Dion Lewis last week. It didn't really affect them this week. They lost Edelman after the first quarter and still went on to win the game. It's not that simple, but we know they have their offensive line troubles as well. It's next man up for the Patriots, and they still continue to roll. So I have no reason to think that they're not going to continue to roll at least through the regular season. And like I said, with Denver suffering 2 defeats, Peyton Manning looking iffy now, Denver is just not as threatening, although their defense is great. Indianapolis, they are not what we thought they were. And Andrew Luck is also suffering from injury woes. So I think the Pats should be fine. The one team that is scary, that no team probably wants to see in the AFC in the playoffs, would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, although Big Ben is hobbled himself. But if he's fine, that's a team you want to stay away from because their offense is explosive. So for the Patriots, I think they'll be fine without Edelman, but if he's not there for the stretch run, for the AFC Championship game, for the Super Bowl, that's when things could get dicey. Now moving on to the Broncos. They suffered a pretty much embarrassing 29-13 home defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs to fall to 7-2. And at this point, I'm all out on the Broncos as Super Bowl contenders. They could still make it to the AFC Championship game because their defense is legit and they are stout, although they did give up 29 points to Alex Smith without Jamal Charles, which is a head scratcher. But that's an in-division opponent, so I got to cut them a little slack because of that. But Peyton Manning looked awful in that game, and I know he passed Brett Favre to become the all-time leader in passing yards, but 5 of 20 passing, completing 25% of his passes with 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions versus the Chiefs. Before, he was benched for Brock Osweiler. Yes, Peyton Manning, benched. So now we have seen Peyton Manning get cut by the Colts and benched by the Broncos. It's a sad day in sports because I think Peyton Manning probably should have retired after last season because he just doesn't have the arm strength. He's not great anymore. He's an all-time great. Probably one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time. But he is past the hill now. And neck surgeries are nothing to sneeze at. He had 4 different in a short amount of time. That's not minor. Especially in a sport where you get hit to the ground the way Peyton Manning and quarterbacks are knocked to the ground as often as they are. But come to find out, today on Monday, we find out Peyton Manning has been dealing with plantar fasciitis in his foot, and he's probably going to miss at least the next game, if not an extended amount of time. And that is why I'm all out on this Broncos team. Because even with Peyton Manning, I said the Broncos were winning in spite of him. Just listen to where Peyton Manning ranks when it comes to quarterback statistics against 32 qualified quarterbacks. In completion percentage, Peyton Manning ranks 24th to 32, completing 59% of his passes. In yards per attempt, he ranks 26th, only averaging 7.7 yards per attempt. In touchdown passes, he ranks 28th, only having 9 touchdown passes. Interceptions, he has the most with 17, and second is Stafford and Luck with 12. So there's a 5 interception difference between Stafford, who's played just as many games as Peyton Manning. When we talk about yards per game, Peyton Manning ranks 22nd, only averaging 242 yards per game. In quarterback rating, he has a 67.6 rating, which ranks 31st out of 32 qualified quarterbacks. In total QBR, which is out of 100, his total QBR is 45, and that ranks 29th out of 32 quarterbacks. So every statistic I just read you is in the bottom third, and some of them are in the bottom 4 out of all the teams. Bottom 4. Peyton Manning is done as we know him, as the great. And the Broncos, they're going to suffer because of it. They cannot make a deep playoff run with Brock Osweiler as their quarterback. And for that reason, their season probably will end in the divisional playoff round, and at best, the AFC Championship game.